we finna talk about co-sleeping. So if you are trying to stop co-sleeping with your child or your children, then this video is for you. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor Lauren Beeman, and here on my channel I talk about my life as a beauty queen, as a wife, and as a mama. So if any of that content interests you, then keep on watching. Alright y'all, so my daughter Blair is now 17 months old, and she has been sleeping in her crib by herself in her room since she was 6 weeks old. And when we have company over, whether it's nap time or in the evening and it's time for her to go down for her nap, some people, whether they're parents or not, are always so surprised that she, goes down in her room without any hesitation, without any fight back. And people often ask how we did it. And a lot of these friends and families already have children, and they're wondering how they can stop co-sleeping with their children. So I just wanted to come on and talk about that with y'all. I have broken this down into 5 steps for you: verbalize, create, eliminate, create, and be. So we're going to break down all of these 5 steps so that you can stop co-sleeping. Now, co-sleeping is not something that we can relate to here in our house. Blair has never co-slept with us. We were very strategic with sleep training, so much so to the point now where she won't even nap with us or anything like that. Like, if she's going to get some good sleep, she has to be in her room with her white noise, dark space, with her blankie. Like, that is how she's gonna get good sleep. If she falls asleep in the car, she falls asleep on us, it's not really a good nap session for her. So although co-sleeping is not something that we can relate to, before becoming a mom, I was a nanny for 8 years, and I helped a lot of families sleep train or either eliminate co-sleeping altogether. So maybe you're a mom that's getting remarried and you want to move back into that traditional space of mom and bonus parents sleeping together and transition your baby back into their room. Maybe you're having another baby and you want to get your oldest one out of the room while your newest baby is in the bassinet with you, and maybe you want to not co-sleep for as long with your second baby as you did your first. Whatever the situation may be, when I was a nanny, when it comes to co-sleeping and sleep training, I probably encountered it. So nevertheless, let's get into these tips. Okay, y'all, so the first thing when it comes to stop co-sleeping with your baby is you want to verbalize. You want to tell them what's going on. Hey, you're becoming a big boy or a big girl, or hey, this is happening in our lives and you are now going to be sleeping in your own room. You're going to have your own bed. You're going to have your own room, your own pillow, your own blankie. You want to verbalize these things to your child before they happen so they have something to look forward to. Make it exciting. Even if your child already has their own room that they're not sleeping in, jazz it up a little bit. Get them maybe a new comforter set, or change the pillowcases out, or hang some new decor in there. Just do something. You don't have to go out and spend a whole bunch of money on a new taller bedroom set or nothing like that, but just do something that makes their room new and exciting for them. You have to verbalize. I always recommend to my families, talk about this new room and them sleeping in their own room and them being big boys or big girls in this new sense of independence. Talk to them about this for a week, honestly. I recommend, let me see. Some of these steps I recommend doing for a week. I will let you know which ones. The verbalizing, I would say do this from about 4 to 7 days, just nonstop. Just get it in their head, this newfound sense of independence, sleeping in their own bed with their own things in their own room. Make it exciting. Verbalize this to them. With children, they are adaptable, but they also like routine. You can't just drop new stuff on them and expect them to roll with it. Children are planners. Babies are planners. They like to know what's happening. They like routine. So that is step 1. Verbalize to them this newfound sense of independence that they're gaining, sleeping in their own room, in their own bed. Make sure you emphasize that own. This is yours. They like mine. This is their space, right? So make sure you verbalize. Step 2 is create the space. So now we have talked about this space that is coming. Now you need to create the space for them. And I think this is so important important. Like, I think it's important for children to have their own space, their own room. Now, obviously, if you live in, like, a smaller house or smaller apartment, if, you have like a 1-bedroom apartment and it's you and your baby, or you, your spouse, and your baby, and y'all got to split the room down the middle, do what you have to do to make their space, whether that's giving them their own room, splitting a room in half, whatever the case is. They need their own space. And I think this is always very interesting in parenthood, because we spend so much time nesting and, building a nursery and decorating it, and the kids don't even be in there. So if you have that, make sure you utilize that space so your child knows that that's their space. My daughter's 17 months old now. She has her own room. We leave the door open to her room at all times. We leave pretty much the rest of the door shut, the bathroom, our room, and our guest room. But her door to her room is always open, and she knows that that is her space. She can walk in there, get her blankie, get her toys, get her book, whatever she needs. She knows that that is her space and that she has access to things in there. So make sure that you create a space for your child so that they know that is their space, and so that they feel comfortable and are more excited to spend time alone in that space. Most of that time will be when they're sleeping at night. So verbalize the space, talk about it, then create the space. So if you need to, and if you have the means to, set their crib up, or their toddler bed, or their floor bed, or whatever route you're going to go. Have your children's things in their room. I know a lot of people, when the baby first gets here, because it's easy to have everything in the room with you. It's easy because you're feeding every 2 hours or whatever. But as your baby grows and becomes a toddler, you're gonna have to transition those things into their own room so that they know that that is their space. Blair only has one medium-sized basket of toys here in the living room. Her eating stuff obviously is in the kitchen, but her clothes, her bed, her toys, her books, all of that stuff is in her room. She doesn't have a single thing in our room. She knows that it's her room, that is her space. So talk about the space, then create the space for your child. That was step 2. Now, step 3, eliminate stalling. Once you have created this space, you want to eliminate distractions. You want to eliminate stalling. So this happens more so when you're transitioning your kids from a crib to a toddler bed. They're up at night, they're rummaging, they're in their toys, they're in their closet, they're in all of their things. When you are trying to stop co-sleeping, I recommend eliminating stalling as well. So Blair's toys are in her room, but she has like an enclosed playpen that zips up, so all of her toys stay in there. So when we do transition her to like a toddler bed, she won't have access to any of those toys because she can't get in her playpen unless it's unzipped. We'll have to do some rearranging with her books because they're floor level right now. But when you're stopping co-sleeping, and typically people stop co-sleeping when their child is like already a toddler and walking and has like access to things. So you want to eliminate anything that is floor level or eye level that they can play with or get into. So make sure that the toy chest is locked up, make sure that the closet door is closed, make sure that there are no books on the floor, that everything is on like a high shelf. So when they are night walking, night playing, whatever they're doing, there's nothing that they can get into, and they'll kind of get bored and have to go to sleep, if that makes sense. So you want to eliminate any distractions, any toys, any stalling, because it is just inescapable, inevitable that your child will be up in the night, whether they're using a taller bed or a floor bed, they're gonna get out of the bed. So make sure that if you have a baby camera in there, if you're going to close the door all the way, or that you have a baby gate at the door so they can't get out of their room, those types of things, because it's inevitable. They're going to get up, they're going to try to be in everything, and it's going to take time for them to just get in bed and go to sleep. But you want to eliminate those distractions so that that nighttime routine gets smoother sooner. So that was step 3, eliminate stalling. Okay. Step 4, create a routine. It's important that you do the same thing every night so your child gets it in their brain. Okay, hey, mommy and daddy are being consistent. This is happening, this is happening, this is happening. This is what we did yesterday. I know when this happens, this is going to happen next, and then that's going to happen, and then I'm going to get in the bed. You want to be consistent, and it's going to be hard when you're sleep training or you're trying to get out of the habit of co-sleeping. I say, honestly, give it a good 2 weeks of stress, sis. Give it a good 2 weeks before your child like gets it, especially if your child is headstrong, if they're an only child, if they know they can get their way. Like if your child is used to getting their way on the first or second try, like a good 2 weeks, honey. Give it a good 2 weeks before they get it. So you want to make sure that you're establishing a routine and that you're doing the same thing every night, and that you're doing the same thing every night, whether they're kicking and screaming or, you know, having a better day or what have you. So if you're going to do a little bit of TV time, then dinner, then bath, then book, then a song, and you're going to bed, make sure you're doing it every night. Make sure you discuss with your partner what the routine is going to be. For Blair, we typically have her TV time. She'll take a bath. She'll have a book or a song, and then she's going to bed. And she has her white noise. She has her blankie. Keep it dark in her room. So make sure that you have that routine, and no matter how your child is behaving, don't let that routine waver. The routine will influence your child. Don't let your child influence the routine, okay? So same thing every night. Make sure you keep it consistent. Give it a good 2 weeks before it sinks in. At best, it'll only take you like a week, maybe like 5 days. But at worst, I would say give it 2 weeks and just be consistent. And that is the final tip. Be consistent with the routine. You have to be consistent. And, you know, your child may kick and scream and bang on the door. And if that's the case, you can do like every 5 minutes, and then you add a minute until, you check on them. But yeah, you got to be consistent. If you're trying to stop co-sleeping, consistency is the key, okay? And, if your child needs a lovey to be comforted because they're used to being with you and they want something there with them, let them have that lovey. Sing them a song, add an extra book to story time if you need to, but you got to be consistent. So, again, verbalize the independence and what's happening. You're about to be sleeping in your own room, in your own bed, with your own pillow and your own blankie. Create that space. Create the room with their own bed, their own pillow, their own blankie, all of that good jazz. You need to eliminate stalling and distractions and room for nighttime play or era for nighttime play. You need to create a nighttime routine, and you need to stick with that nighttime routine. So, I hope these tips were helpful for you to stop co-sleeping. Make sure that y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Engage with me in the comments down below. If you have any co-sleeping questions specifically, let me know. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.